Hello, everybody. It is good to see you. I am sure that your mind is full with a lot of great information until this point, and we are going to start pulling all of that information out and putting it together. We're going to do data dashboards. We are going to learn how to build the dashboards based off of the analysis you've ran, the charts that you have inserted, your functions that you've created, the data cleaning that you've done up until this point. The data dashboard is going to pull that all together. So we are going to switch on over to, yes, you guessed it, Excel, one of my favorite places to be. And we are going to have a practice scenario. This is going to look familiar to you. This is something that you want to get familiar with in terms of this scenario, how to approach these types of data sets. So let's play, for example, let's role play that you have been asked as the analyst to analyze student testing data, performance data, and the director of testing wants you to find out more information. Okay, so the data that they've given you has the following information. We have education column, test preparation course, math score, reading score, writing score, and the number of attempts. So the number of attempts, we need to start asking ourselves these questions now. We're given a scenario. Based off of this scenario, what information can we gather? Do we know where the data is coming from? Do we have access to this data? What questions do you have for the director in this scenario? Do you know what attempts mean? Do you have to go back and ask them clarification for that? These are the types of questions that you're going to want to start to think when you're going through these data sets. So the answer for attempts is going to be the number of times that the student took these tests. So the math, reading, and writing. So we want to analyze the testing performance across all grade levels. So you'll see we have the information that we need here. Okay, so at this point, charts should have been created, charts should have been inserted, pivot tables, and so on. So we want to build that dashboard. You'll see at the bottom here, I have already created my dashboards. I'm sorry, my charts. We haven't created the dashboard yet. We're creating the dashboard based off of the charts, the visuals that we've already created. So you could see down here, I have named my worksheets. So this one is average score by grade and prep. This is the next one, average score by grade, math score by grade, test prep by grade. So I've already started to build my visuals. We can pull together strong information here and give the director what they need. We can answer their questions. So to build a new dashboard, we want to create a new worksheet. So I'm going to click on new sheet and I am going to title it dashboard. Remember, you want to be able to go back to your work days from now, months from now, years from now, and know what it is that you did. Saving your work is very important. Labeling your work properly is very important. You want to give yourself that reminder on what you did. We are going to build our dashboard. One of the biggest pieces of direction that I could give you here with these dashboards is these are yours to build. Okay, it is up to you. This is your story. As long as you hit this scenario, as long as you understand the KPIs, remember those are key performance indicators. Here we know that the director is asking for student testing performance across grade levels. Great, we have the data that we need. We have the column information that we need. We've asked clarifications if necessary. But now as the analyst, it is your job to create this. It is your job to graphically communicate what you have found. And you can do that in building your Excel model and data dashboard. So your Excel model is here. We have created charts. A quick reminder, when you are creating charts, especially pivot tables and charts, you are going to have a lot of data behind the scenes of your chart. So keep in mind, if this is something that you want to include in your dashboard, you will want to change some of the formatting. You're going to want to make sure that these decimal places are removed. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All of this starts to come together here. We'll round up, okay? So what I'm doing here, getting a reminder, I'm clicking too many. I am highlighting the cell. I'm going up to the general area, the general group, and I'm decreasing my decimals. Highlighting my cells, and I'm decreasing my decimals, okay? Formatting is very important when communicating your findings. Okay, and look at that. That just looks so much better. So for example, if we wanted to include this table in our data dashboard, it already looks better. Okay, so keep that in mind. Formatting is key. We want to make sure that your audience can easily and visually identify the indicators just by looking at it. We don't want them to be busy. We want to have a very clean design to our charts. So we have here, this is the average score by grade and prep. How do I know that? Because I titled my worksheet, but I am going to want to include a title here. So in order for me to do that, a quick refresher here, I'm going to highlight, go to format, my apologies, design, and I'm going to add a chart element. And I will do that all the way to the left. You will see add chart element. Drop it down, chart title. It'll ask me where I want it. So I'm gonna have it above the chart, and here it is. So now I just put my cursor and I click, and this is the average score by grade. So I'm typing in average score by grade and test prep. Now again, remember, at this point you should have already been creating your charts. Be comfortable with inserting your charts, playing with your data fields. So you will get to this point within the lesson as well as the workshop. So these are things that you're gonna start building on your own. So this is just gonna be an overview on how to pull all that information into your data dashboard. So I've gone ahead, I've added my chart element, the title's there. Now I have average score by grade. Again, I do not have a title. We want to make sure that my audience knows what it is. So we're going to add a chart element. We're going to go back to table. And right here, what I could even do is I can add a legend with keys or no legend with keys. So we'll go ahead and include the legend with keys, because now even without the title, we can go ahead and remove this one. This is where your personal preference is coming in. My personal preference is coming in that I just want to include my legend. That chart element I am happy with. So I'm gonna go and move down to my math score by grade, by education. So this is the math score by grade, okay? I can choose to add data labels if I want. Again, we wanna right click, add data labels, add data labels. There's our data level. So now our audience will know just by looking what these stacks represent. My next worksheet is test prep by grade. This is signifying that these are the students who did not take prep classes. These are the students that did take prep classes. Okay, so quick overview there. Now it is time to build my dashboard. And to build my dashboard, how do I do that? If you are on the track of inserting my charts from the different worksheets and creating it into one visual, you are right. What we are going to do now is select what charts are going to be helpful for the scenario. And let's go back to that scenario again. We have been asked to analyze student testing performance across grade levels and student testing attempts. So we have that. But the director wants us to go a little bit further. What else can we tell them? So to go a little further, I chose to break it down by prep by grade, average score by prep, the average score by grade, test prep, and so on, because this is going to give them the information that they're looking for. To create my dashboard, I go to my very first chart. I right click my chart. I copy my chart. I scroll over to my dashboard worksheet. I right click. There are many different ways that you can insert your chart. You can insert it just as a picture, which means you cannot manipulate it once you insert it. I can insert it by keeping the source formatting, which means that any changes that are made within this workbook will be changed within this chart. Or I can use the destination theme. I'm going to keep the source formatting for all of my charts, and you'll see what happened. Because I kept the source formatting, my pivot chart fields, see here on the right, populated, and you can see everything that I did. I actually do not want to include the values over here, so I'm going to delete that, and it opens the graph a little bit. Again, constant reminder to you all, this is about preference. How do you want to be creative? How do you want to tell your data story? This is how I want to tell mine. But this is the generalization in how to. You are going to go to each worksheet. You are going to select your chart and make sure that you are selecting the outside of the chart, not the plot area, okay? And you'll see that the elements of the chart will highlight. We want to select the outside of the chart, right click it, copy it, go back to our data dashboard. I just pasted it as a picture. That's why we want to take our time, be slow. I'm going to keep my source formatting here. Again, I'm just going to place this over here. Pivot chart fields. So each time I click on each individual chart, I am able to right click and show my field list. So if I need to make changes right here on this dashboard, I can do that, which is why I keep the formatting. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the math score by grade. This will be something nice to let them know. This is broken down by subject and grade. So go ahead and include that. You can include the average math score. You can do it across reading. You could do it across writing. So many different options within these data sets. I'm going to right click and copy here and include this into my data dashboard. So hopefully what you're seeing right now is you're seeing this all come together. Your data dashboard is a visual representation of the analysis. We have a lot of bar charts, changes in color. We don't have too much of a variety. So let's see if we can change our chart type see if we can get a pie chart there. Perfect. Okay, so what I went ahead and did is I selected my count of test preparation course, highlighted the chart, and I went up here to the design tab on the ribbon. This should all look a little familiar to you. Hopefully you're getting comfortable with this navigation. And chart type. I want to change the chart type. I want to see something different. So I selected chart type and I went to a pie. And you can see that the data can be represented in a pie chart. So I'm going to select OK. And here it is. It has changed. Now what we can do here is start to move things around. Start to get this looking visually appealing, visually attractive, as all I am doing is I'm clicking and I am dragging. I'm moving some things over, I'm clicking, I'm moving some things down. I want this to look nice. This is where you can get lost and spend a lot of time just by moving things around, inserting them. Where do they look better? This doesn't fit here, so we're going to resize. And what I'm doing is to manipulate, this should be a refresher, to manipulate these charts. I'm clicking the chart and I am dragging and dropping with the circles. I'm using my mouse, my cursor, to manipulate the size. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing right here. And one of the great things to think about too is when you create these charts, you also get your tables. So remember, going back to charts, you can insert a pivot chart and table. There's a reason for this. Let's go back to my average score by grade and prep. As soon as I move it out of the way, there's my data table. It's there. Everything that I want to say is here. So we could even include a data table. We could select this, right click it, copy it, go to the dashboard over here, right click it. We can insert it as values with the formulas. We could paste it as it was. There are multiple different options in here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste it as is. Again, we got to move some things around. This can get pretty busy, so take your time. But we can insert this data table. I'm going to highlight it and double click it. Remember, by highlighting it all, it allows all of the rows to expand. This got big because it was in that column area, so we just have to go ahead and resize it. So this table coincides with this table. You could even bring over your count of test preparation course. Come over here. You can copy and paste this table. Copy, go to your dashboard, right click, insert it, double click it, make it visually appealing, formatting. I cannot stress formatting enough. So look at what's happening here. Everything is starting to come together nicely. You have your data table with your pivot chart here. You have your count of your test preparation course here with your table, and you could choose to do the same for math by education, or I'm going to go ahead and undo that with Control Z. I just moved that out of the way. I clicked the plot area. Okay, or what we could do is just expand this a little bit, bring that down, make it a little flush. The math score with education, same thing. And as you can see, this is a data dashboard. This is something that was thrown together in a few moments, but this gives you the idea of what to do. You couldn't even highlight this table and go over to your styles group. Change your heading. You can change your accent. Hover over, it will do it for you. You don't have to select anything you don't want to before you do it. So this is a great way to freshen up the page. Okay, again, formatting. I'm going to go ahead and remove data. You can insert titles here that you want. Okay, so this could even be your average score by grade. You can copy and paste the title from your chart and insert it up into your table. There are endless options here. But the whole point of this is to start with your raw data. Here's our raw data. What was our scenario? What was our business objective? We were asked to analyze student performance across grade levels, measuring student attempts. After creating down here multiple worksheets, we go to our dashboard. We have done that. We have successfully showed the director count of test prep by course. We broke it down even a little bit further. We let them know how many students took the test preparation course, those who did not. We broke it down average score by grade and test prep. So we're letting them know what it looks like by grade level. We provided them with the average score across grade levels, and then we chose to focus on just that of math. This is your graphic, visual representation of what the raw data was telling us, what the raw data started out to look like. Okay. This was a lot of information. Data dashboard and building your Excel model is a lot of work. It is a lot of time. So it's very important that you take this time to research your data, clean your data, check your data for errors, make it reliable. When you're ready from there, you want to read that business objective. What is it? What are they asking of you? What questions do you have? Can you access the data? What are the key performance indicators? Follow up with people, reach across teams, utilize those resources to answer those questions. Because at the end of the day, you will be able to create your your data dashboard. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. If you have any questions, let us know. Take some extra time to go through this and build your own dashboard. Get creative. Have a great day.